There is a remarkable power that lies within focus, within intentional thought, and within the energy poured into a single moment. Even 20 seconds of concentrated attention can change the trajectory of an entire day, especially when that attention is placed on abundance and the flow of resources into life. Money, opportunity, and success respond to awareness. And when the mind locks in on the possibility of what can be, doors begin to shift, ideas begin to appear, and paths that were previously invisible start revealing themselves. It is not magic in the ordinary sense. It is a natural law of energy and focus that cannot be ignored. When the heart and mind are synchronized for 20 seconds with clarity, expectation, and intention, that alignment begins to attract the unseen forces of provision. The brain begins to notice opportunities, the spirit begins to sense pathways, and the energy surrounding the person begins to vibrate with readiness. This is why it is not about long rituals or complicated methods. It is about the quality of attention, the depth of belief, and the power of intention concentrated for a moment, enough to seed action and create momentum. The 20-second focus is more than a mental trick. It is a shift in frequency. Thoughts carry energy, and even fleeting thoughts of abundance, if given clarity and intention, hold the potential to reshape reality. When a person pauses and commits just 20 seconds to the clear image of money arriving, to the feeling of financial security, to the vision of opportunity manifesting, the mind starts scanning for ways to make that vision real. The subconscious, which governs perception and response, begins to recalibrate. Ideas that were invisible suddenly appear. Connections that were unnoticed suddenly emerge. Actions that were delayed suddenly feel urgent and aligned. It is astonishing how a few seconds of disciplined thought can disrupt patterns of scarcity and open the door to abundance that seemed impossible before. These seconds are seeds, and the soil of daily attention, belief, and openness allows them to grow into tangible outcomes. The quality of these 20 seconds matters profoundly. It is not a fleeting wish or a casual hope. It is an intentional commitment. The heart must feel the arrival of the money, the mind must picture the exact details, and the spirit must believe it is already on its way. The clarity of the vision makes the difference between ordinary thought and transformational thought. When a person combines focus, faith, and expectation, the energy begins to move, almost like a current beneath the surface that pulls circumstances toward alignment. Even if the external world has not yet shifted, the internal alignment creates a field that attracts, prepares, and orchestrates everything necessary for manifestation. These moments of disciplined visualization are catalysts. They shape perception, influence choices, and magnetize opportunities in ways that mere wishful thinking never could. Action naturally flows from this focus. It is not just mental, it is kinetic. When the mind has been anchored in expectation for 20 seconds, the heart believes it, and the body follows. One begins to notice deals, chances, invitations, and resources that were previously overlooked. Doors that seemed closed start creaking open. Ideas begin to manifest into conversations. Small steps taken with clarity gain momentum because they are informed by a mind and spirit that are aligned with abundance. The 20 seconds are more than a pause. They are a shift in posture, a recalibration of awareness, and a declaration that the person is ready for the resources that are already on their way. The universe begins to respond, not because of effort alone, but because the alignment has been established and the energy is moving in harmony with intention. Even in the midst of doubt, fear, or external challenges, the 20-second practice has power. It interrupts the cycle of scarcity thinking. It breaks the habit of focusing on lack. It creates a mental and spiritual anchor, a place where expectation replaces anxiety, where faith replaces worry, and where clarity replaces confusion. It is a tool that allows a person to take control over perception before the world imposes chaos. Every day, repeated focus strengthens the subconscious connection to abundance. Opportunities, money, and resources no longer appear random. They appear as responses to deliberate alignment. Each 20-second note of attention is a building block, a stepping stone, and a confirmation that the mind, heart, and spirit can co-create reality when given even a fraction of disciplined focus. The second stage of this practice extends beyond initial focus into the realm of trust, patience, and persistence. Once the 20 seconds of concentrated attention have been given to the arrival of money, it is essential to allow the flow to unfold without forcing it. The mind often wants immediate results, and the spirit can become impatient, but the law of manifestation requires both clarity and patience. Trusting that the seeds planted in those seconds will grow is as important as the act of focus itself. The energy put forth cannot be rushed. It must be allowed to interact with unseen forces, to align circumstances, and to magnetize opportunities in their own timing. When the heart releases control and allows expectation to exist without anxiety, the unseen begins to work, orchestrating ways to bring the vision into physical reality. The 20-second alignment sets the stage, but the dance of manifestation unfolds in its own rhythm, requiring both attention and surrender. During this period, perception transforms. When the mind has anchored itself in abundance, even subtle cues become visible. Conversations overheard, ideas glimpsed, suggestions made, and doors previously unnoticed begin to present themselves. These signs were always present, but without alignment, they were invisible. The 20-second note shifts the lens through which life is observed. Suddenly, the mind starts noticing patterns of abundance, opportunities to increase resources, and steps that were previously unimagined. What once seemed random now appears as a network of possibilities waiting to be acted upon. This is the hidden power of deliberate focus. It does not create money instantly, but it creates a mind and heart ready to recognize and act upon the resources that already exist, waiting to be harnessed. Energy begins to move in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. Opportunities arise not as overwhelming challenges, but as incremental openings. The alignment from those 20 seconds creates readiness, alertness, and confidence. Decisions become clearer, judgment sharper, and timing more precise. Even financial intuition improves because the subconscious is now tuned to recognize paths that support abundance. The 20-second practice cultivates more than hope. It cultivates a trained awareness that sees potential everywhere. The mind no longer overlooks options. The spirit no longer doubts provision. The heart no longer fears scarcity. This focused readiness turns ordinary circumstances into fertile ground for manifestation. Actions initiated after alignment are more effective because they are informed by clarity rather than desperation. It is not frantic effort that produces results, but intentional steps guided by an anchored mindset. When energy is concentrated on the arrival of money, the actions taken are strategic, resourceful, and timely. Opportunities that would have been ignored or dismissed suddenly become logical, easy, and available. This demonstrates the fundamental principle. Manifestation is as much about preparation as it is about arrival. The 20 seconds do not replace effort. They enhance it, calibrate it, and empower it. Each choice, decision, and step becomes infused with intention and readiness, making the outcome far more predictable and aligned with the vision. The second section of this practice also emphasizes gratitude for what is already present. Recognizing existing resources reinforces the law of attraction, making space for new abundance. When money, opportunity, and provision are acknowledged in the present, even in small amounts, the mind shifts from lack to sufficiency. Gratitude acts as a magnet, amplifying the alignment initiated in the 20-second focus. It primes the heart to receive, reinforces confidence, and allows the flow to continue unblocked. The combination of focused intention, patient trust, aligned action, and gratitude creates a powerful cycle. It transforms fleeting hope into ongoing expectation, casual desire into deliberate pursuit, and scattered effort into coordinated alignment with prosperity. Finally, the 20-second note is a practice in consistency. The power does not lie in one isolated moment, but in repeated alignment, over days, weeks, and months. Each morning, each pause, each moment of clear intention strengthens the mental, emotional, and spiritual patterns that draw abundance into reality. With every repetition, the subconscious becomes more attuned, the mind more disciplined, the heart more open, and the spirit more confident. Money begins to show up not as random luck, but as a natural consequence of alignment, clarity, and focused expectation. The 20 seconds are deceptively brief, Yet they hold the power to transform a life because they create a system of preparation, awareness, and magnetism that the ordinary mind cannot ignore. In this way, the practice becomes a daily rhythm, a ritual of power, and a secret bridge between vision and manifestation, proving that even the smallest intentional investment of focus can yield monumental results. There is a deep truth that becomes visible when attention is focused for just a few moments. With intention and clarity, energy follows thought. When a mind, heart, and spirit converge on the idea of money, resources, or opportunity, they send out vibrations that begin to align with the possibilities waiting to manifest. The 20-second note is not a random pause. It is a concentrated signal, a conscious declaration that the person is ready, aware, and receptive. The focus is brief, yet its impact ripples far beyond the moment itself. It primes the subconscious, the emotions, and even the environment for the arrival of what is intended. In that short span, attention becomes powerful because it is uninterrupted, undistracted, and fully immersed in the vision of financial flow. The brain, wired to recognize patterns and possibilities, begins to scan for signs, connections, and opportunities that it would otherwise ignore. The heart, when fully present, begins to sense confidence, expectancy, and openness. The spirit, attuned to possibility, begins to resonate with the unseen forces that move resources, ideas, and energy toward fulfillment. The effectiveness of the 20-second practice is amplified by the intensity of belief. Doubt dilutes the signal, but unwavering focus strengthens it. When every thought during those seconds is purposeful, when every image is vivid, when every feeling is charged with certainty, the alignment becomes more precise. It is as if the universe itself responds to clarity and insistence, arranging circumstances and people to meet the intention set forth. The moment is short, but it carries weight because it is deliberate. One does not need hours of preparation or elaborate rituals. What matters is that the mind, heart, and spirit converge on a single point of possibility. The 20 seconds are enough to establish a magnetic field that attracts not only money, but also the ideas, inspiration, and practical pathways that make financial growth inevitable. The more frequently this is practiced, the stronger the field becomes, and the more naturally opportunities seem to appear at the right time. A key element of this process is the ability to remain detached from the outcome while maintaining total engagement in the moment. Too often, desires accompanied by anxiety, impatience, and tension, which interfere with flow. The 20-second focus works best when it is both intense and calm, concentrated but unhurried. There is no need to force results. The purpose is to establish clarity, to plant the seed, and to prepare the mind, body, and spirit to recognize opportunity. Once these seconds are completed, the momentum is already in motion, and action begins to emerge almost effortlessly. Decisions that might have seemed difficult, or choices that previously appeared blocked, now feel intuitive. Timing aligns, resources present themselves, and the path becomes more visible because the inner alignment creates a field that organizes external circumstances. What seemed random now feels orchestrated, as if the universe itself is responding to the signal sent by those intentional moments of focus. Visualization is another critical component of these 20 seconds. The mind must picture the money arriving, the accounts increasing, the flow of resources expanding. This is not mere imagination. It is the rehearsal of reality. The brain, body, and spirit respond to vivid mental imagery as if it were already real, activating the creative forces that allow the imagined scenario to emerge in the physical world. When the mental picture is clear, when it is detailed, and when it is emotionally charged, the subconscious aligns to support action in the physical world. The senses begin to notice opportunities, the intuition becomes sharper, and the courage to act grows. Even challenges are interpreted differently because the mind trained in abundance begins to see possibilities where others see obstacles. The 20-second focus trains the brain to recognize patterns of provision and to make decisions that support the manifestation of resources with precision and confidence. Consistency is what transforms these moments from a practice into a lifestyle. Doing this once may create temporary alignment, but repeated daily, it becomes a natural rhythm, a conditioning of the mind and spirit. Each morning, each pause, each focused 20-second note reinforces the belief in abundance, strengthens confidence in personal capacity, and primes the environment to respond in alignment with intention. Over time, this consistent practice develops a mental habit that automatically scans for opportunities, discerns potential, and positions the individual for growth. It is not about luck or chance. It is about training perception, thought, and energy to operate in a space where abundance is inevitable. The 20 seconds serve as a bridge between vision and manifestation, connecting desire with reality, preparation with opportunity, and thought with action. Gratitude magnifies the power of this practice, recognizing the resources already present, appreciating past successes, and acknowledging the small wins allows the mind to operate from sufficiency rather than lack. This sufficiency creates a fertile ground for more abundance. When the heart is grateful, the mind is more receptive, and the spirit resonates with possibility. The 20-second focus is amplified by this sense of appreciation because it shifts the energy from desperation to expectancy, from worry to openness, and from scarcity to flow. This alignment ensures that money does not arrive randomly, but flows into the space prepared by disciplined focus, intentional thought, and consistent gratitude. Patience is another critical aspect. Even though the focus lasts only 20 seconds, the fruits of this alignment may not appear instantly. The unseen mechanisms, the synchronicities, the opportunities, and the connections take time to converge. Yet the mind trained in this practice does not panic or become impatient. It remains vigilant and aware, noticing every small indicator of movement toward the goal. Every idea, every conversation, every decision is filtered through the lens established during the 20-second focus. The subconscious continuously reinforces the alignment, making the individual sensitive to opportunities and ready to act when the right moment arrives. This combination of patience, clarity, and readiness creates a momentum that is unstoppable because it operates on multiple levels: mental, emotional, spiritual, and practical. By the end of the day, the 20-second note has already begun to produce subtle but measurable changes. Decisions are clearer, ideas appear more vivid, actions become aligned with opportunity, and the confidence to pursue resources grows. Even small signs of progress, unexpected suggestions, helpful contacts, timely information, or sudden insights demonstrate that the mind, heart, and spirit are operating as a coordinated force. Over weeks and months, these repeated moments accumulate, resulting in noticeable shifts in financial flow, abundance, and personal empowerment. The 20-second practice is deceptively brief, yet it carries a magnitude of effect far beyond its duration. It transforms perception, reconditions thought, and aligns energy in a way that allows money, opportunities, and success to show up with consistency, precision, and ease. The essence of this method is simple yet profound: brief, focused attention, combined with clarity, belief, gratitude, and patience, can create unstoppable momentum toward financial abundance. It is not about forcing results or waiting passively. It is about establishing alignment, seeing possibilities, acting decisively, and trusting the process. When practiced consistently, the 20-second note becomes more than a technique. It becomes a lifestyle, a mindset, and a daily ritual that shapes reality. Every day, the field of potential is expanded, the mind is sharpened, the heart is prepared, and the spirit resonates with abundance. And when this alignment is maintained, money does not simply appear. It flows naturally, predictably, and powerfully, because the energy behind the intention has been directed with precision and unwavering focus. There is a subtle but undeniable shift that occurs when attention is directed with full intention, even for a mere 20 seconds, toward the vision of money, opportunity, and financial flow. In that brief period, the mind begins to prioritize possibilities that were previously overlooked. The heart aligns with expectation, and the spirit resonates with readiness. These 20 seconds are not just a mental exercise. They are a declaration to the universe that the person is consciously available to receive, that the energy is attuned to abundance, and that no opportunity is too small to notice. The concentrated attention acts like a magnet, quietly but powerfully drawing circumstances, ideas, and resources into alignment with the intention set during those moments. This is the transformative power of focus. It channels energy, filters perception, and activates latent potential. in ways that hours of unfocused effort cannot achieve. During these seconds, the mind shifts from scattered attention to absolute presence. Every thought is deliberate, every image is vivid, every feeling is charged with certainty and expectation. This level of alignment is essential because it signals readiness not only internally but externally. The subconscious begins to scan for patterns, opportunities, and connections that would otherwise remain hidden. It tunes the senses to detect possibilities that align with the intention of financial gain and prosperity. The energy created in this concentrated moment begins to ripple outward, influencing decisions, conversations, and actions throughout the day. Even challenges that appear seem less intimidating because the mind has anchored itself in clarity and expectation rather than fear or scarcity. The 20 seconds become a seed from which momentum naturally grows, shaping outcomes without the pressure of forced action or anxiety. Visualization during this time is a crucial element. Imagining the money arriving, picturing the accounts increasing, feeling the relief, satisfaction, and freedom that financial flow brings, all create a neural pattern that the subconscious treats as a rehearsal for reality. The brain does not distinguish, vividly imagine success from actual experience. It responds to the clarity and emotional intensity as if it were already true. This primes the individual to act decisively when real opportunities arise, to recognize doors that open unexpectedly, and to make decisions that are aligned with the intended outcome. The 20-second focus is a rehearsal that allows the mind to notice opportunities, the heart to trust possibilities, and the spirit to stay open to receiving. Each repetition strengthens the pathway, making abundance increasingly predictable, accessible, and natural. Faith and trust are integral to this process. While the 20 seconds anchor attention and intention, the unfolding of manifestation often requires patience. The mind may want immediate results, but the unseen alignment of circumstances takes its own time. The power of these 20 seconds lies not in forcing outcomes, but in establishing readiness and expectation. By trusting the process, the individual allows the energy set into motion to navigate unseen pathways, orchestrate connections, and generate opportunities that align with the vision. Impatience weakens the impact, trust strengthens it. The moment of focused intention is like planting a seed in fertile soil. It requires care, consistency, and faith in the process of growth. The seed may not sprout instantly, but its potential is undeniable and inevitable when given the proper attention and belief. Gratitude amplifies the effect of these seconds. Acknowledging current resources, recognizing progress, and appreciating small wins reinforces the sense of sufficiency. Gratitude acts as a magnet that increases receptivity, allowing money and opportunities to flow more freely. The 20-second focus is enhanced when the mind and heart are already attuned to abundance rather than scarcity. Every thought of lack diminishes the impact. Every thought of appreciation strengthens it. This alignment between intention, expectation, and gratitude creates a powerful energy field that cannot be ignored. Opportunities begin to appear as if they were orchestrated, timing becomes synchronized, and the individual becomes increasingly aware of previously unnoticed pathways for success. Action naturally emerges from the alignment established during these seconds. The mind, now trained to recognize opportunities, guides decisions that are strategic, resourceful, and effective. The heart, confident in the expectation of abundance, fuels persistence and courage. The spirit, aligned with unseen forces, attracts collaborations, insights, and circumstances that were previously inaccessible. The 20 seconds act as a catalyst, initiating a chain reaction where preparation meets opportunity, focus meets action, and intention meets manifestation. Even challenges are transformed into stepping stones because the mindset created in those moments interprets obstacles as opportunities for creativity, strategy, and growth. Consistency is the final component that transforms this practice into a lifestyle. The impact of a single 20-second focus is powerful, but when repeated daily, the effect compounds exponentially. The mind becomes attuned to abundance as a natural state. The heart expects provision as a normal experience, and the spirit remains aligned with opportunity. Over time, the 20-second note does not remain a brief exercise. It becomes a permanent lens through which the world is perceived. Financial flow, resources, and opportunities appear not randomly as a response to the disciplined alignment of mind, heart, and spirit. The individual becomes a participant in creation rather than a passive observer, capable of shaping outcomes through brief, intentional moments of focus. Even the smallest signs of progress during the day become confirmation that the practice is effective. Unexpected suggestions, timely advice, helpful connections, or sudden insights all indicate that the alignment set in those 20 seconds is influencing the external world. The practice also strengthens resilience. When obstacles arise, the mind trained in focused expectation responds with clarity, creativity, and confidence rather than fear. Decisions are informed rather than reactive. Opportunities are recognized rather than missed. Energy that might have been wasted on worry is instead channeled towards solutions, action, and alignment with abundance. Ultimately, these 20 seconds teach a profound lesson about the power of deliberate focus and alignment. They demonstrate that even brief, intentional moments can produce monumental effects when practiced consistently and with clarity. They show that financial flow and opportunity are not dependent on random luck, but are the natural outcome of a mind, heart, and spirit aligned with abundance, expectation, and readiness. Every day, each 20-second moment reinforces this alignment, creating a cumulative effect that transforms perception, shapes reality, and attracts the resources and opportunities necessary for success. The world begins to respond predictably because the energy behind intention has been properly directed, focused, and amplified through belief, gratitude, and consistency. The 20-second note is deceptively brief, yet it holds the power to change how the mind perceives possibility, how the heart responds to opportunity, and how the spirit attracts what it desires. It is a practice of precision, of alignment, of faith, and of consistency. It is proof that even the smallest investment of concentrated focus, when directed toward financial flow and abundance, can ripple into profound results. With every repetition, the mind becomes sharper, the heart becomes more confident, and the spirit becomes more attuned to receiving. What once seemed improbable becomes inevitable. What once seemed random becomes orchestrated. And what was once distant and intangible begins to show up, materialize, and transform into reality.